We're now joined in our Abuja studio by the national president of JOHESU, Josiah Bio Belimemie. Thank you for joining us on NewsTrack.
Thank you, channels, for making it possible for us to inform Nigerians properly.
Now, we understand all the emotions and all the agitation that has gone into this situation before you finally carried out this threat by officially declaring this strike active. What can you tell us now about how far you are prepared to go to have your demands met?
Like we made it clear, it is an indefinite strike, and how far we go is dependent upon the response of government. If the government shows so much love for the people and decides to do what it has freely entered into 6 months ago, which should have been completed 5 weeks, but they have failed to do, we don't have any need to really continue, because we know the effect of it, and the government is at the end of shortening the strike. So we expect that government perhaps will short-live the strike action.
And because it's such a sensitive nature, the work that you do, it's so important to the country. It has to do with people's lives, and everyone is obviously concerned about it. Could you bring us again up to speed with what exactly your demands are, and where you allege that the government failed you?
Amongst so many, we have demands for improved service, and then provision of improved equipment and amenities. But in addition to that, we also said we should be fairly treated. That, like the adjustment of the Congress salary, which was one of our cardinal issues. But in order that we show love to Nigerians, we did tell the government, of all, just take one item and deal with it to conclusion. But within the 5 weeks, they couldn't. We still gave them up to 17th of this month, which makes it over 6 months. And still, no positive results, no tangible response to that demand. So we said, okay, we don't have any alternative. We have been compassionate enough. And if the government that ought to be more compassionate than us have decided not to be, what else do we do?
Now, clarify this for us. First, I'm going to ask you 2 questions. Firstly, who and who under the Joint Health Sectors Union is going to be on strike? Right? And then secondly, there's the issue concerning...
That are going to be on strike.
Okay, go on. Go on, go ahead.
Okay, completely. Okay, the people that are going to be under the order of the Joint Health Sector Union's strike order are those, with the exception of medical and dental doctors, dental practitioners. Every other member, every other worker in the health system belong to one of the 5 registered trade unions that make up the Joint Health Sector Unions. You know, the Joint Health Sector Unions is made of registered trade unions. Any association, any group that you don't find in it, it means those are not registered trade unions and cannot perform trade union activities, hence we don't work with them.
Now, there's issue, remember the controversy concerning the Nigerian Medical Association, who say that your union is an illegal one.
It's laughable that my union is an illegal one. Rather, the NMA is not a registered trade union, but because of the bias in the leadership of the Federal Ministry of Health, that they allow them to even embark on strike actions, which are trade union activities. They allow them to give ultimatum and do whatever they like, because the minister is a medical doctor, the Minister of State is a medical doctor, and until recently, the permanent secretary used to be a medical doctor, and that has been what we've been crying, that if you take fairness into the medical industry, Nigerians will be better off. That if the doctor is a minister, let the Minister of State be someone from the other professional groups. And then the permanent secretary should be always a seasoned administrator, so that we get a balance where everybody will be fairly talking and discussing as a family.
Thank you, Mr. Josiah, the national president of the Joint Health Sector Health Workers Union, speaking to us on the strike action that has been embarked on by the union concerning the demands to be met by the federal government. Thank you for speaking with us on Newstrack.